Well, here we go again. Calvinists who still don't get it. This time, C Jay Cox again. So he keeps making comments on the discussion that I had with Veckel. Is Graham a synergist? Well, it depends who's defining the terms. And the problem is that Calvinists are very sloppy with their terms. They're not careful. And if you push them, they'll go, oh, no, you're a synergist. No, it means this thing over here. But they don't always define it that way. And they play games and they go, oh, well, you're trusting yourself. And John MacArthur and Matt Slick and others, Veckel even did it in this very discussion, will bring in, oh, so some of it is your work. Oh, so you think faith is a work, do you? Oh, no. Well, what are you doing then? Idiots. Absolute idiots. So Brandon, who has a brain, says, if Graham does not define faith as a work, then he is a monergist. Seems to me that it's that simple. Yeah, let's keep it simple. No. Let's not keep it simple, CJ says. He believes that which makes grace efficacious is man's will. I assume what he means is he believes that it's man's will. He's accusing me of believing it's man's will that makes grace efficacious, as though we are in charge. I would never say it that way. That's an awful way to say it. But thanks again for straw manning me. And CJ claims later, nobody's straw manning. Yeah, you do it all the time, CJ. And people accuse me of straw manning. But CJ stupidly says nobody is straw manning or redefining words, and then accuses me of redefining words. Well, which one is it, you moron? I'm tired of this stupidity. It astounds me that people can be this stupid and blind. But this is what arrogance does. It blinds you to your own stupidity and hypocrisy and contradictory language. Moron. And then he says, that is synergism. Right, well, then I'm not a synergist. Thanks for defining it that way, because I disagree with defining it that way. But thanks again for proving that I'm not a synergist, CJ. Thanks for putting words in my mouth, as usual. What makes grace efficacious is God. And so I respond to CJ and I say, thanks for lying again. No, CJ, that's God's choice. But you keep lying. It's not us that makes grace efficacious. It's God that makes grace efficacious. And which definition of synergism? Because if you go look up synergism, it means to work together. Go look it up. Oh, you mean the theological definition of synergism? And I'm going to point out that monergism.com, and he says, no, this is not a definition. Etymology. The word monergism consists of two main parts. The Greek prefix mono signifies one, single, or alone, while the suffix ergon means to work. Taken together, it means, which is a definition, CJ. That's what means. That he's giving a definition, you cretinous, lobotomized imbecile. You are the epitome of stupidity. You're such a liar. Oh, it's not a definition. He's just giving some context by providing an etymology. Why? When he then contradicts it and says, no, that's not what it means. He says that it means that, but it doesn't mean that. Because what it really means is that God has to do something in us so that we can believe. Otherwise, it's not only him that's working. Imbeciles. You people are astoundingly cretinous. Taken together, it means the work of one. Very simply, then, since that is the meaning, he goes on to give then his Calvinistic twist on God has to regenerate so that you can believe. Otherwise, it's not the work of one. And CJ goes, no, he's not giving a definition. He's just giving some context. Well, he's giving useless context because so you're saying that you disagree with this. That is not what monogism means. Even though the guy is saying, that's what it means. Cretinous, lobotomized imbecile. Unbelievably moronic. But he's going to keep lying. He's going to keep going, ooh, temper tantrum about people redefining words. No, my temper tantrum's not about people redefining words, you demonic liar. My temper tantrum is about the confusion and how you ignore the confusion that synergism has two definitions. And you call us synergists, and we go look up the definition of synergist, and it means to work together. That's the literal meaning of the word. That's the etymology of the word. But then you've created this other definition that's got nothing to do with anything that connects to the Greek, the etymology, the literal definition, or anything like that. So why use that word? You know why? Because of confusion. You want the confusion. It helps you pretend that anybody that disagrees with you is a work salvationist. Really, they're trying to take some credit for themselves. You demonic scumbags. Now, I'm tired of this garbage. I really, really am. Sorry, I forgot to show monogism on the screen. Means. That means he's giving it as a definition, and then he goes on to use that definition, the literal etymology of the word, to say, see, so therefore Calvinism is true, because otherwise it wouldn't be the work of one. But CJ's too stupid to see that that's what he's doing. No, that's not what he's doing. He's just providing a context. Oh, really? So he doesn't mean it when he says, taken together, it means the work of one. Very simply then, monogism is the doctrine that Calvinism. With no contribution and without the cooperation. What do you mean by cooperation? And you have to press them to find out that what they really mean is cooperation in the will, which is not the literal meaning of the word cooperation. It's not the first definition of the word cooperation. Cooperation means to work together with. So how about you be more clear, Calvinists? No. We don't want to be clear. No. We love the confusion. We love wallowing in the mire and the pig pen, because that's where we can deceive people. You demonic scum. So which definition of synergism? And I've shown previously that synergism isn't just defined in this theological way. There are other definitions of synergism, and they don't say this theological. So just abandon the thing. It's confusion. And then what Calvinists do, since they're using this confusing definition of synergism, they can then pretend that we believe in works, which is what they regularly do. Calvinists regularly will accuse those who disagree with them of all being work salvationists. And I've shown that John MacArthur does it. I've shown that Matt Slick does it. I've shown that Veckel did it in this very discussion. But heaven forbid that CJ should take any notice of that. No. Got to love the confusion. How else do you defend Calvinism without confusion? And then we go to the other comments by CJ down here. So this guy says, the legacy of the Reformed is much like the legacy of woke culture. Redefining of words, conflation, equivocation, he says. And I add, and straw manning. CJ says nobody is redefining anything. Nobody, not even the woke, apparently. Nobody. Nobody is conflating anything. Nobody is equivocating, and nobody is straw manning, Graham. By the way, it's hilarious that you throw temper tantrums over people redefining words, but when you're corrected in words like a lie and straw man, I assume he means say, I reject that definition. But sure, ignore the reasons that I give, because the biblical definition of lie is not the dictionary definition of lie. CJ, thank you for proving that you hate scripture that much that you're going to use the dictionary against scripture and condemn me with a dictionary definition that is against the scriptural definition. You're such a demonic scumbag, CJ. And I gave you my reason why I reject the definition of straw man, because it means that you have to read people's hearts and minds. How can you know their motive? And then he calls it peak hypocrisy because he's too stupid to deal with the reasons that I give. It's not temper tantrums over redefining words, it's temper tantrums over confusion. Useless words like synergism and monogism. And a useless word like straw man, meaning someone who's deliberately mischaracterizing the other person's position. And so since he says nobody is redefining anything, I say, oh, nobody. So I'm right. I'm not equivocating. I'm not redefining anything. I'm not strawmanning. So when I say that Calvinists are Gnostics, that's not a strawman. That's accurate because nobody is strawmanning, according to CJ. And then the cretinous, lobotomized, drooling imbecile doubles down on his stupidity and lies and says, you must be redefining the word right. I thought you said nobody was redefining anything, you imbecile. More proof you were a liar, I respond. You said nobody is redefining anything. Which one is it? This cretin doesn't want a sensible conversation. He wants the confusion. He loves the confusion. He's a pig wallowing in the mud. More proof Calvinism is demonic confusion believed by the brain dead. Trying to converse with you is like trying to converse with an evolutionist. Constant confusion. Provide one evidence of my temper tantrum about people redefining words. And then I ask him the question, which he ignores. I'll show you shortly. Why was I angry? My temper tantrum, I'm going to say it again, CJ, since you're too stupid to understand. You can't read subtext. You're not interested in having a conversation. You just want to immediately assume what I mean, and you get it wrong every single time, constantly strawmanning me and then attacking the strawman and going, see, I win, like a stupid pigeon prancing around the chessboard, pooping everywhere and pretending that it's won the chess game. You are an absolutely moronic imbecile. You are one of the stupidest people I've ever met in my life. Charlie Michaels and Caesar have competition in you. I keep pointing out to you the confusion is what annoys me. You ignore that and add more confusion. Demonic deception. And maybe you'll have more integrity than Veckel and deal with monogism.com giving two definitions of monogism. He admits the literal definition meaning of one worker, and then they add this extra deterministic Calvinistic layer. This is the issue I have had the whole time. At best, it is confusing. At worst, deceptive. Are you going to keep ignoring this and lying about me? Oh, yes, he is. Monogism.com does no such thing. It provides the etymology of the word, which you then take as the literal definition, even though that's not how language works. Well, he thinks that it works that way. It is the literal definition of the word. That's exactly how language works. That's why I said literal definition, and then explains the theological definition based on that literal definition, you cretin, as I just showed. But sure, ignore that. The etymology is provided for the sake of providing context, which he says is the meaning, the work of one. He says that's the meaning, not because it constitutes a second definition. No, in his mind, he thinks they're one definition. Give me just a second. And so CJ, you're not understanding anything. It is the literal definition. It's the etymological definition, the literal definition of the word from the Greek. Imagine how absurd, he says, it would be if you treated language like this in any other instance. Like, imagine someone saying to you, I don't understand, and you responding with, what do you mean? That you don't stand under what I said, or that you don't get it. The word has two meanings, sloppy. Oh, unbelievable. He admits that literal definition. He puts it on his website. If I was trying to explain understand to you, would I give that as the etymological definition? Seriously? The word has two meanings, sloppy. It would be hilariously stupid. Right, so you're admitting that monergism.com is hilariously stupid because he's the one that gives that definition. And Calvinists regularly turn to that literal etymological definition to try and attack anyone who disagrees with them because they conflate it with Calvinism. And then he says to me, yet you insist on approaching this word in such a mind-numbing way. No, CJ, Calvinists do. And I'm pointing out that you do it and you're ignoring it. Calvinists regularly attack anybody who disagrees with them as believing that they can work for their salvation. As I've pointed out numerous times, but keep ignoring it and just blame me. I'm the only one that does it, even though I've pointed out you've done it. If anybody is lying here, it's you. Monergism.com does not give two meanings of the word monergism. I've just shown that it does. However, as lying is defined as being deliberate, really? Is that the scriptural definition of the word lie or the modern dictionary definition? I'm done with you. Thanks for adding more lies and stupidity, CJ.